Welcome to the Manosphere Daily. In today's video, we have a lady who says she does everything right, yet at the same time can't find an accomplice. She's 29, single, and disappointed because love seems to come to everyone else but never knocks on her door. We invite you to crush that like button, support the movement, and subscribe to the channel. That's the only commitment we ask from you, man. Add your grain of sand to the movement and share your experiences in the comments for any man who needs them. Without further ado, let's get started. Because it's true, I always say that desperate people tend to be desperate for kindred spirits. This lady shows me 2 points. First, the peace you feel being single is the very peace that the man felt when he left you. Men love that part so much that they choose to stop dating Western women. That's why dating sucks for you. The second point is that a woman's worst enemy is another woman. Women are more competitive than men, yet also more childish. If 2 women are friends and one is more beautiful than the other, I can guarantee you that, deep down, there is some jealousy. This is shown when a woman gets married but keeps her group of single friends. I can assure you that this same group of friends will do everything in their power to cause her relationship to fail. That's why I always advise men to pay attention to who your woman spends time with and what direction the women in her life have the most influence on her. If you see her mother, aunts, sisters, or friends are single, coming from bad relationships, or constantly in unstable relationships, let me tell you, the same thing will happen to you. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and there's a reason your woman enjoys associating with them. But watch the following video to see that the peace in being single is actually disappointing, as she says.
Quick question, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I am so sick and tired of just everything right now. Everyone is so quick to say, stop doing this, stop thinking like this, stop telling me I'm wrong. I have literally convinced myself at this point, based on everything that everyone's telling me, my therapist, my family, my friends, that I'm just doing everything wrong. I'm healing wrong, I'm thinking wrong, I'm training wrong, I'm doing relationships wrong. Everything I do is fucking wrong, and I'm so sick of it. Stop comparing. It's not even about comparison. Like, I genuinely just want love in my life so badly. It's literally not about anyone else. It's just about me and what I want. And being fucking over the fact that I don't have it. I feel like I have done so much work on myself. I have built a beautiful life for myself. I'm happy with my life where I'm at, my job. I'm successful, I'm independent, I'm healthier than I've ever been. I take such good care of myself. Truly the only thing I'm missing in my life is someone to enjoy it with. And I'm so sick of waiting. Like, when is it going to be my turn? What more do I have to do to fix myself before I'm just allowed to be happy, before I'm allowed to meet this universe soulmate person that God supposedly has for me? How much harder do I have to pray and manifest and wait? I feel like I'm being punished for something I didn't do. And I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. I don't expect a lot. I just want love in my life so bad. I want my life partner. Am I just supposed to be alone? Like, is that the message? That this beautiful life I've built for myself, like, it's just supposed to be me in it alone? Like, I know I have my dog and I love him so much, but like, I need love. All of my friends have their fiancés and their boyfriends and their husbands that they prioritize. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I've been left behind. And I really just want to find that person that matches my energy and wants to build a life with me. Is that so hard?
Okay, obviously, the only reason you haven't found your true love is that you're doing everything wrong, right? How convenient to blame others for your failures. I can't help but wonder how long you've spent in therapy sessions validating yourself instead of facing the reality that maybe you're not as perfect as you think. Perhaps the issue isn't that the universe owes you something, but that you expect someone to fall in love with a version of you that doesn't exist. What irony. Life isn't a Disney movie. And sure, you've built a beautiful life. You're free, successful, and healthy. What more could a man ever want, right? Oh wait, maybe a little humility and self-analysis. Instead of showing off and praying for a perfect partner, maybe you should realize that a relationship requires mutual responsibility and sacrifice. A list of personal accomplishments isn't enough. Well, I get it. It's easier to blame God, the universe, and your friends than to look within and ask yourself what you're really bringing to a relationship. At the end of the day, how touching to hear that you have a dog. At least he can't comment on your endless talks about how unfair life is. Your friends are busy with their partners, and you? What are you doing? Complaining and feeling abandoned? Maybe the real issue isn't that you're alone, but that you expect love and happiness to fall from the sky while you complain about how unfair life is. Love is not a right gained by your accomplishments. It's a connection built on effort and empathy, qualities that seem to be lacking in your endless monologue.
Like, I genuinely just want love in my life so badly.
If you're doing everything right, you're working out, you're working on yourself, you're going to therapy, etc., and still you're having a very hard time calling in this lover that you so desperately desire, most likely it's going to be due to the location that you are living in. I cannot tell you guys enough how many times I've attracted clients like these to my astrocartography business, which is the form of astrology based on your location. And literally every time they end up moving, everything in their life changes. They become much more abundant. They become much more successful. They're starting to bring a lot more money in, and they end up finding lovers that are meant for them in those places they relocate to. Because sometimes truly the place you're in is blocking love for you. It's blocking good friendships. It's blocking good community for you. And if you've been in a location for years and years and years, literally since you were born, and still this stuff isn't working out for you, I mean, that should be a big light bulb moment. I gotta move. I gotta go. You could invest so much time and energy into yourself, get all this advice, and then still feel like there's something wrong with you, when really it's just the environment that's wrong. And most of the time, unfortunately, these people are living on their Pluto descendant line, or their Chiron descendant line, their Saturn descendant line, their Neptune descendant line, their Uranus descendant line, or they're literally living in a place where Purans are blocking that love from them, or they're living in a place where their relocated chart is not working for them because they have a malefic planetary ruler happening in that location, or it's in a bad house. So it's so many things that could be compiling at once that could be causing this situation to happen for many individuals around the world. Literally last week, I had a returning client that also was struggling with this love thing in the US. We looked abroad. We saw on her map that in London, there was a love and romantic Puran there. She then went. She met somebody. She's been with this person for a while now. And we ended up finding out that this person was actually from Lithuania, where her Jupiter descendant line runs through. This is also the planetary ruler of her 7th house of marriage and love. So it was like a meant to be thing. Sometimes love might not even be in the US for you. Sometimes it actually might be abroad. And the way you can mitigate this is starting to online date in those places where you have good love energy according to your astrology. So just know you're not the only one who struggles with this, and there are ways to mitigate this. There are ways to look up things to figure out how you can call in that lover that you are desiring. And astrocartography, honestly, in my opinion, is always going to be the answer for this. And it will always be helpful in finding you that success.
Astrology to find love? Crazy. Now it turns out that to find true love, being an attractive, focused, and emotionally stable individual isn't enough. No, ladies, that's too simple. We need to align our lives with the stars and, even better, move to the ideal locations in the world. Sure, because we all have the time and money to move to London just to find the perfect suitor. What's next? Moving to Mars because Venus is in retrograde? But we all know that taking responsibility is kryptonite for women. Instead of spending a fortune on astrology sessions and plane tickets, maybe we could try something more practical. How about improving our social skills instead of depending on the stars? Perhaps the issue isn't your geographical location, but how you interact with people around you. And stop searching for a 6-foot-tall Mr. Perfect with the complete package. Could we stop blaming Saturn, Uranus, or any other planet for our love issues? The grass isn't always greener elsewhere. Instead of running from our problems, let's face them by taking control of our lives instead of surrendering to a star that has nothing to do with us. But, as I said, taking responsibility is kryptonite for some people, and then they say women are happier when they're single.
Quick question, are you fucking kidding me?
So let me kind of explain a little bit more of an insight into why we think like this, because I think it's really, really interesting to understand. The lady in the video is referring to the fact that she's been really working on herself, and therefore she's frustrated that she hasn't found a relationship. We often tend to think like this primarily because of the way that the church and the state were like best friends way back when, and people were being like encouraged to get married. That was because of divine union through the divine order, which was God, man, woman, and child. This basically heavily implied that the more morally good you were, the more holy you were, the more likely God was to bless you with marriage and also children. But of course, in reality, it really doesn't tie into like how good of a person you are, more so how obedient you are to just doing what the kind of church wants you to be doing. Now, what's really interesting is the value system that is implied, or at least what the woman is referring to in this video, is that if she works on herself, if she's a good person, if she takes care of others, if she takes care of herself, yada, 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 therefore she will get a partner. But actually, the one that was in effect was one of obedience, purity, closeness to God, and essentially maintaining social order. Having a relationship is not a reward for being a good person, because being single is not a punishment for being bad. However, because of these hangovers of the moral ties from the church, that's often what gets implied. And that's something that we actively have to work against, because relationships are very complicated. People have them for lots of different reasons, and we don't just get them because we're good. There's also so much that I could probably say about like the timescales of all of this, just chance, opportunity, luck, but I think I'll say that.
The timeless complaints of some modern women who think that simply working on themselves should automatically attract a perfect suitor. It's fascinating how the concept of relationships has been distorted. It's no longer about genuine connection or compatibility. It's about ticking off boxes on an agenda that, once completed, should guarantee a man at their feet. Do they think we men are incidental prizes granted for good behavior? Please. These women live in a fantasy where their own work should be rewarded with a relationship. They make it seem like relationships are about setting requirements for the boyfriend position, while we men are supposed to submit resumes for the job. While they complain, they ignore that many men also face challenges in love, but without society's sympathy, which doesn't give us a cushion on the back for our efforts. Even though they gripe about traditional values taught by the church, the world followed a natural order in the roles of men and women. We didn't reach record reproduction levels by accident. But with their current ideas of feminism, they believe they deserve everything because they're women. They've turned relationships into chaos. By 2030, 45% of women over 30 will be single and childless. Obviously, traditional values were the problem, right? Keep believing you deserve a man just because you're good, while we search for women who understand that relationships are a two-way street, not a prize. You say you want a relationship, but what you really want is a connection.
Think you want a relationship, but what you really want is connection. You are unhappy with being single because you think a romantic partner will come and save you. You are the only person that can save yourself. You might be seeking someone or thing to intellectually stimulate you. In that case, start reading self-help books. Start joining online groups that talk about what you're interested in. Network with like-minded individuals. You might be feeling like you're missing affection and love, and you can find that in building a brand new community and friendships. You're bored and dissatisfied and you want to go out and experience life. And you can do that with yourself, because you are your own best friend. You are the person you can trust most in the world, and that has always been there for you. Take yourself on a date. Go on a solo holiday. A lot of the time we think that relationships will solve our problems, when really we just need to come and save ourselves. A lot of the things we crave and we seek, we often put down to our soulmate being able to provide that for us. But you can find those things in many other situations. So please remember that the next time you're beating yourself up about single life, because you can find satisfaction and love in so many other places.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.